Had some great energy from some guys off the bench like Daniel, Hank, and Sanford. So our overall level of competitiveness and right from the get-go, I thought was much higher. So I didn't have any problem with that about how we went about our business today, other than the fact that we turned the ball over a lot still, and that we didn't perform well offensively. We had some guys with some rough shooting days. So we have to get better. There's no question about that. This is not a finished product. It wouldn't be a finished product if we were 4-0. And so we have to continue to grow and continue to get better. Michi did not feel like he could go today, so that's why he didn't play today. Was his ankle again and still. So we were short-manned, and some guys had to play some really extended minutes that they haven't had to play and carry a load. And so I think that may have actually factored into some of our shooting.
Questions?
Lamont, do you anticipate Michi being available Sunday? Is that the hope?
I don't know, to be honest with you. So today was a no. Tomorrow's tomorrow. We'll see what that looks like. We have a day off. Hopefully that helps. And then we'll see what it looks like on Sunday.
It seemed like a big disparity, especially in the second half, was at the three-point line between the teams. It seemed like Foster Lawyer, number 0, really got going for them, after scoring just 2 points in the first half. What did you see from your vantage point, with him getting going and you guys, I think, attempting just 7 3-pointers in the second half?
Yeah, he was being aggressive. We knew he was going to be aggressive. He's a good scorer, so that didn't surprise us that he was going to try to get a lot of shots off. One of them was really tough shot, which that's what good scorers do. And then one of them hit the rim in a way that I've never seen it fall in, and it fell in. But other than that, I knew he was going to be really aggressive. I did. I anticipated that he was going to be really aggressive, and he was. He's a good player, and they ran a bunch of stuff to him, and he took a lot of shots, and he made some of them. So we were working hard to chase him around. He got one out of the zone. One of the threes came out of the zone, and then they ran a lot of stuff for him.
Seemed like y'all scored a lot of points in the paint, but it seemed like y'all left a lot out there too. You getting enough from your guys on the interior?
I'd like it to be much more productive. Certainly, I think our expectation would be we did get the ball down there. We got fouled more. I thought we were more aggressive. I did. I think we played in a good fashion. I thought it was good how we played. I just don't think we performed very well in terms of our individual performances, in terms of making the shot after you've done all the work. I don't know what the numbers would be on our field goals right around the basket, but certainly we left some points out there. And we did the same thing yesterday too. I mean, there were 8 points that were ones that I call gimmies based on how the play went down. You have to count those points and you put them in your back pocket, and we didn't get them. And I think some of that happened again today. So yeah, we got to be more productive down there. I think you have to generate some points from down there. You have to generate attention from down there in order for these threes to be open. And so we have to get more effective.
Lamont, it looked like they were screening pretty heavily tonight. I know it's part of their offense, but did you feel like you guys handled that well? And what's next for maybe ball screen defense and defense?
Pretty good. I thought we did a pretty good job on the screening, right? Honestly, I don't know how many possessions were in the game, what the points per possession was. Normally, I get that information from my assistant coaches, but I'd be interested to see what the points per possession was for those guys. I thought we did a pretty good job in the screening as a general rule, and handled the stuff pretty good. And there weren't a lot of snafus, and it's hard. They make you communicate and stick to principles. And I thought overall we did a pretty good job with that. I thought again there were a couple one-on-one situations that we didn't handle well. A couple of them in the post and a couple of them on the perimeter. But as a general rule, for all the screening that they do, I thought we did a fairly decent job overall.
There were stretches tonight where you guys had all 3 freshmen in the game with Davis, Gigi, and Hank and Sanford, and I'm sure some of that had to do with Michi not being available too, but just curious what you saw from them tonight. Especially, I know you mentioned Daniel being aggressive on the offensive glass. Seemed like he pulled down a few more offensive boards tonight.
Yeah, he's a monster in there. He is, and he's going to be really good one day. But that's what he can bring to this team. If nothing else, there's some other things that he can do too. But I think just a consistent effort of going to the offensive glass. All three of those guys have good length. All three of those guys have a nose for the ball. Daniel's able to pursue it a little more aggressively just because his physical stature, I think. But it was Michi being out definitely played into the fact that those guys would be on the floor at the same time. And there were a couple times where our productivity from one position or another wasn't great, and so you push buttons in a game. That's what you do as a coach. And so I tried a guy like Daniel, and he added some stuff to what we were doing, and he had done that a little bit yesterday too. But so those guys are going to be really good players for us. They're obviously the future of this program. And so I like that. I like what they do. I like how they go about their business, and who they can grow into as players is very promising. And so, but we need them. We need them to contribute now, and they did tonight. They helped us. I think they both helped us tonight. We just got to just in general we got to cut down on turnovers as a part of it, of what we got to do offensively too.
Looked like the 1-3-1 that you went to late in the first half really helped you guys out. Did Davidson just adjust to that, and what made it effective when you first went to it?
Yeah. I think we had 13. I think we ran 13 possessions at the end of the half, and I don't think they scored. That's not to say that they got no good shots. There were a couple sprinkled in there. So that was probably, I'm sure at halftime they spent some time adjusting to that. But I look at it even in the second half, and they had a stretch where they went. I think they scored 8 points in it in a row. Right, one was something on our end that we didn't recognize and handle. Then two of them were shots again that I've done this a long time where they initially hit the rim and normally doesn't end up going through the net, and they did. One of them was a 19-foot 2-point jump shot too, which we normally factor in as an acceptable shot for the defense to give up. And so it wasn't quite as effective because of maybe what they did for sure, but also two shots that I felt pretty decent about the fact that they took those shots and they both hit a funny part of the rim and went in.
How do you feel like Jacoby did start tonight and playing 38 minutes?
Good for a lot of minutes. He's not, that's not what he's been asked to do, And so I thought he did a good job, and he was guarding Foster Lawyer for most of the game, who's never stops moving and is crafty on the offensive end and a good player. And so I thought he did a good job handling that, and and when you do that, it's hard to have a real super productive offensive day in terms of scoring baskets because it's a lot to put on you, particularly when you're not used to playing on the ball for that extended amount of time.
Y'all had your largest lead in the second half, and it may just be coincidental, but right after Hayden's technical, they started to go on their run and take control of the game. Is it coincidental, or did you feel some momentum shift there and them play a little bit better?
Yeah, a little bit. I think more than anything, yes, it stopped what we were doing. I do. I think it stopped what we were doing, and I don't know. I'll have to look at it and see what it really looked like. I think the fact that the young man on Davidson's team responded to it is what spurred the call for it to be a double technical. But from my vantage point, what I saw Hayden do seemed like guys do that a lot when they get excited about something. I think it was intended more towards his own teammate. And their guy happened to be somewhere in the vicinity of it too. Didn't take kindly to seeing that after his shot had been blocked, and because he reacted, I think you're probably forced to maybe do that. But yeah, I think it slowed down our momentum more than anything. We had a good thing going on, and so I think it slowed us down a little bit.